There's a specific kind of person who will watch this video and feel something shift. You're the one who answers "I'm fine" so convincingly that nobody questions it. You're getting things done, showing up, performing. From the outside, your life looks completely together. And yet, there's this tiredness that doesn't shift, no matter how much sleep you get. You stare at your phone and can't reply to a simple message. Not because you don't care. You care enormously. That's part of the problem. You keep waiting to feel like yourself again, but you can't quite remember what that felt like. And here's what makes this so confusing. Nobody would ever guess, because you look absolutely fine. That gap between how you look and how you actually feel. It's not a character flaw. It's one of the most overlooked patterns in people who function at a high level. And there's a reason it happens. Today I'm going to show you what it actually looks like so you can finally recognize it in yourself. So why do you look fine on the outside but feel completely depleted underneath? Because your brain has been running in override mode for so long that it's forgotten how to stop. You've become so skilled at performing okay that the performance itself is using up energy you don't have. Your system isn't broken, it's just been spending more than it earns for a very long time. Let's name what's actually going on. Think of your brain like a phone that shows 80% battery. Looks fine. But there are 47 apps running in the background, planning, scanning, managing, monitoring. The screen looks normal, but the system is overheating and the battery is draining far faster than it should. That's high-functioning exhaustion. It's not burnout in the dramatic, collapsed-on-the-floor sense. Christina Maslach, the psychologist who pioneered burnout research, found that exhaustion doesn't always look like stopping. Sometimes it looks like someone who keeps going, keeps delivering, but has quietly lost the connection between effort and meaning. The engine is running, but the empty fuel light has been on for months. And if you're the kind of person who does this, you already know what I'm about to say. You won't stop until something forces you to. So let me show you the 6 signs your system is sending you right now. Sign 1, you're tired, but you can't rest. Not just, I find it hard to switch off. You sit down and your brain immediately generates a list. You lie in the bath and you're planning tomorrow. You take a day off and spend it feeling guilty for not being productive. Rest doesn't feel like rest anymore. It feels like a problem to solve. Your nervous system has been in a low-level activated state for so long that stillness feels unfamiliar. Your brain has learned that doing nothing is dangerous. So, it fills every gap. Sign 2. Small decisions feel impossibly hard. What to have for lunch, which email to answer first, whether to say yes to something that should take 2 seconds. And here's the part most people miss. This isn't indecisiveness. Roy Baumeister, a social psychologist, studied something called ego depletion. He found that decision-making runs on a limited daily resource. When your mental capacity has been stretched thin, your brain starts rationing. It protects its best thinking for high-stakes moments. Everything else, including choosing what to eat, becomes exhausting. That's a system running low, not a character failing. Sign 3. You've gone quiet. You're present. You're in the room. But something has gone slightly distant. You reply to messages later than you used to. You cancel plans and feel a complicated mix of relief and guilt. You're in conversations, but you can't quite track them because you are not fully present. This withdrawal is protective. When someone is carrying too much, the mind quietly reduces input. Social engagement, which should feel energizing, starts to feel like another performance. If you've noticed this in yourself, that's worth paying attention to. Sign 4. You're more irritable than you used to be. Not angry, not aggressive, just thinner. Your patience is shorter. Things that wouldn't have bothered you 6 months ago now get underneath your skin. You snap, feel immediately guilty, then exhaust yourself managing the guilt. Irritability is one of the clearest signs of a nervous system that's been running too long without a break. The emotional buffer has gone, and the guilt cycle that follows makes it worse, because now you're managing shame on top of everything else. Sign 5. Things you used to enjoy feel flat. Not everything, maybe just some things. A project that once excited you, a hobby you've stopped making time for, a version of yourself that feels a long way away. You might be thinking, that's exactly what happens to me. That's not a coincidence. Psychologists call this anhedonia, a reduced ability to feel pleasure or interest. Even in its milder forms, it's a signal, not a diagnosis. A signal that your system is pulling back from pleasure because pleasure takes energy too. Sign 6. You're very good at appearing fine. Now this one sounds like a strange sign, but stay with me. If you've spent years learning to manage, to cope, to keep the lid on things, you get very skilled at performing okay even when you're not. You answer, "I'm fine," automatically. You produce your best work on your worst days. You hold everything together for everyone around you because that's just what you do. The problem is the performance itself takes energy. Over time, the gap between how you perform and how you actually feel becomes exhausting on its own. Because you're still functioning, no external mirror flags concern. And that is how capable people end up running on a depleted system for months, sometimes years, without anyone noticing, including themselves. Now, 3 things you can do. None of these require you to fall apart first. They're small, specific, and they start today. Tool 1, the evidence check-in. Because you're still delivering, it's easy to dismiss how you feel. I can't be that bad. Look at everything I'm still getting done. This tool asks you to shift the evidence. Instead of asking, "Am I still functioning?" ask, "How am I functioning compared to 6 months ago? Am I enjoying things less? Am I more irritable? Am I resting less effectively?" Take 10 minutes this week. Write honest answers to those 4 questions. Don't edit. Don't dismiss what comes up. This is a functional baseline, a tool used in low-intensity CBT to track well-being over time rather than against an imagined ideal. Most people compare how they feel to how they think they should feel. That gap is almost always unfair. Comparing to 6 months ago gives you real data. Tool 2, the permission slip. Write down one thing you're giving yourself permission to stop managing so tightly this week. Not forever, just this week. It might be permission to reply to messages when you have the energy, not within the hour. Permission to say, "I'm not great" when someone asks. Permission to leave one thing undone without processing the guilt all evening. High-functioning people often don't access rest because they haven't explicitly allowed themselves to. The internal permission structure is rigid. I can rest when I've finished everything. The problem is everything never ends. Writing the permission slip interrupts the automatic override. And here's what I want you to notice. You may feel resistance. A voice that says, "This is indulgent." That resistance is useful data. It tells you exactly how tightly you've been running. Tool 3, the one thing wind down. Most people who struggle to rest have no transition between doing mode and resting mode. They go from full speed to bed with nothing in between, then wonder why their brain won't switch off. You're not bad at relaxing, you just haven't given your nervous system a bridge. Pick one consistent activity that signals to your body, "We are done now." Low stimulation, the same every time, and genuinely pleasurable rather than productive. A short walk with no podcast. A cup of tea in a particular chair. 10 minutes of something gentle you actually enjoy. The specific thing matters less than the consistency. This draws on stimulus-response conditioning, a principle from behavioral psychology. Your nervous system learns through repetition. When you do the same thing in the same way enough times before rest, the activity itself begins to trigger the calming response. You're teaching your body that what comes next is safe. This takes a few weeks. Start tonight. Let me bring this back to where we started. If you recognized yourself in any of those 6 signs, I want to say something clearly. That is not just stress. That is not life being busy right now. That is a system that has been running too hard for too long. And it is asking you to pay attention. You don't have to collapse first. You don't have to wait for a crisis. You're allowed to notice what's happening and respond to it now before it gets louder. This is not a character flaw. It is not weakness. It is what happens to capable, thoughtful people who have been practicing override for a very long time. And like all practice patterns, it can be understood, and it can change. Tell me in the comments, which of the 6 signs hit closest to home? You don't need to explain, just the number. I will read everyone. If this video resonated, please subscribe, because every week on this channel I go deeper into the patterns that keep thoughtful, capable people feeling stuck. Next time, we're looking at why your brain always jumps to the worst possible outcome, why a small worry becomes a full catastrophe in 30 seconds. If your mind skips straight from something might go wrong to everything is going to fall apart, there's a name for that loop. And once you see how it works, it starts to lose its grip. I'm Nadia. I'll see you in the next one.